the drama surrounding Caitlin Clark and Team USA has escalated into one of the most talked-about controversies in modern women's basketball, a situation so explosive that the entire sports world is struggling to process it. Headlines flooded social media with the claim that Clark had stepped away from national team activities after being benched during a recent practice session. For millions of fans who have followed her meteoric rise, this wasn't just another story of locker room tension or personality clashes. It felt like a seismic shift. Clark, the young phenom who single-handedly brought new attention, new viewers, and new energy to women's basketball, suddenly found herself at the center of a narrative she hadn't chosen, a storm she couldn't have anticipated, where every moment off the court felt as consequential as every moment on it. The initial spark was almost banal, a social media post claiming that Clark barely saw the floor during a Team USA scrimmage, relegated to a bench while veteran players dominated the session. Whether this decision was strategic, disciplinary, or simply a rotation choice, the optics were disastrous. The rumors caught fire instantly. Fans, long invested in Clark's journey, interpreted it as disrespect, as a deliberate slight against the player who had become the face of a new era. In minutes, speculation ballooned into a full-blown controversy. Clark had been benched, some cried. Clark had been ignored. Clark had had enough. And while no official confirmation came, the collective belief of fans treated the whispers as truth, driving conversations across forums, timelines, and sports networks alike. This flashpoint didn't materialize in isolation. It sat atop months of growing tension, simmering friction between rookies and established veterans, between the old guard who had long controlled the narrative of women's basketball and the new wave that demanded attention and recognition. From the moment Clark arrived in the WNBA, her presence disrupted hierarchies and challenged assumptions. Social media erupted with every highlight, every sold-out arena, every viral moment. While some embraced the excitement, others bristled at the rapid shift in focus. Analysts noted a cultural divide, a collision of expectations, where emerging stardom threatened established power structures. Every hard foul, every overlooked call, every personal accolade became fodder for debate. By the time she entered Team USA practice, Clark wasn't just a player. She was a symbol of change, a lightning rod in an environment already charged with unspoken hierarchies and politics. The story's roots stretch even further back. Last summer's Olympic roster announcement shocked fans and analysts alike. Caitlin Clark's name was absent. The omission ignited one of the largest fan backlashes in the history of women's basketball, fueling speculation that the selection committee feared her prominence might overshadow seasoned veterans. Headlines exploded, comment threads overflowed, and every argument about readiness, legacy, and talent collided in a fervor that hasn't fully subsided. Clark herself handled the situation with composure, but fans never forgot the perceived snub. That moment, though months ago, continues to reverberate, framing the interpretation of every practice, every minute's allocation, and now every rumor about her potential departure. The timing of the alleged benching, paired with Clark's already exhaustive rookie season, amplified the intensity. Her schedule has been punishing. Grueling physical demands on the court, relentless media scrutiny, and the weight of being the league's breakout star. Clark has carried the burden of expectations far beyond the average rookie, becoming a focal point not only for ticket sales and TV ratings but for the perception and growth of the entire WNBA. To enter Team USA, a squad dominated by veterans accustomed to controlling every narrative, was to step into a crucible. Every glance, every substitution, every decision became laden with interpretation, feeding the digital firestorm that erupted almost instantly after the reports emerged. Inside the practice gym, accounts suggest Clark received fewer reps, limited minutes, and less involvement in structured sequences. Regardless of intent, the optics fueled outrage. The narrative of the young star sidelined while veterans assumed control became irresistible. Viral posts amplified the story, transforming what may have been a routine coaching decision into a symbolic act of disrespect. The rumor that she had chosen to step away, whether accurate or speculative, intensified the frenzy. Analysts weighed in, fans debated, and the story quickly became a national conversation, a moment that transcended basketball to touch on broader themes of fairness, respect, and generational change. Yet the deeper truth speaks to Clark's relentless drive and competitive spirit. She is a player defined by intensity, by her refusal to accept limits, by her need to shape outcomes rather than be shaped by circumstance. The alleged benching, combined with the unrelenting pressures of her professional and public life, creates a scenario where stepping back to focus on personal growth, development, and long-term goals becomes not only understandable but necessary. The situation exposes a tension inherent in professional sports. The collision between organizational authority and individual agency, between established hierarchies and emergent talent, between tradition and transformation. Clark's presence has always moved the needle, redefining what audiences expect from women's basketball. Her influence extends far beyond points per game, rebounds, or assists. She generates global attention, attracts new fans, and elevates every stage she touches. Losing her from Team USA, even temporarily, represents more than a tactical gap. It risks diminishing the momentum she has created. Her value isn't confined to statistics. It resides in cultural impact, in shifting perceptions, in redefining what is possible for young athletes everywhere. Meanwhile, the reaction outside the gym has mirrored the intensity of the speculation. Social media became a battleground where fans, analysts, and former players dissected every angle, every possible interpretation. Allegiances fractured between defending tradition and championing innovation, between supporting veterans and embracing the next generation. In this environment, Clark remains both central and somewhat removed, a catalyst for conversation she didn't actively seek but now must navigate. The intensity of the scrutiny, the weight of expectation, and the sheer scale of the audience combine to create a pressure that few athletes face, particularly one still early in her professional career. Ultimately, this episode highlights a broader dynamic in women's sports: the friction between individual talent and institutional inertia, the ways in which transformative players challenge established norms, and the consequences when cultural and organizational structures clash with market-driven influence. Clark's situation underscores that respect and recognition are earned not only through performance but also through visibility, influence, and the ability to shape conversations beyond the court. She has repeatedly demonstrated that she can do all of these things simultaneously, and her continued trajectory suggests that, even amid turbulence, she will remain a defining figure in her sport for years to come. We want to hear from you. Did Team USA mishandle Caitlin Clark's integration, or is this a natural consequence of tension between veterans and rising stars? Should Clark prioritize personal growth over team politics, or is stepping back the wrong message? How do you see this affecting the future of women's basketball on the global stage? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to like this video to support deep dive coverage, and subscribe to stay on top of the biggest stories shaping the sport. Turn on notifications, because the next chapter of Caitlin Clark's journey is about to unfold, and you won't want to miss a single moment.